All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mr. Madrid from the Mr. Madrid Show. It's been a while. This is episode number 18, which we titled Out the Mud into the Mission. And this is going to be featuring special guest Chris Lora, who has been a friend of mine for 20 plus years. I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself and all the things that he does, because it's not just one or two. He's a man of many trades. So first off, welcome to the show, my brother. Glad to have you. Speak to the people. Introduce yourself, player.
Yo, my brother. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for having me. I was looking through our phone call and our text messages, and I remembered I told you I want to do episode 18 a while ago. So if you go to your text, number 18 means a lot to me. But yeah, I'm Chris Lora. Chris Works, Washington Heights, born and raised. There's a lot of things that I've done in my life. I don't even know where to start, but I'll give you a little resume. I went to high school. I'm a neighborhood kid from Washington Heights, public, elementary school, middle school, high school, where I met my man, Anthony Madrid. After that, I went to college. I got a bachelor's in science, became a physical education teacher. I got 2 master's degree. I love teaching health and wellness. I was a basketball coach, a top tier basketball coach in Manhattan. Was fortunate enough to coach baseball alongside a couple of close friends. Did very well there. Everything that I do, I put my all into it, 10 toes down. And then from there, I started managing independent music artists while I was a teacher in 2012. That went well. I got to travel the world. I got to meet a lot of artists, work with a lot of people. And then in 2014, 2015, I co-founded Velvet Ropes, a marketing and entertainment group where we sold out 22 yacht parties with 300 people or more. And we did a lot of great events. We did a lot of activations for a lot of big brands. And then during the pandemic, a little bit before the pandemic, I started getting into real estate. I started getting more into wealth building. And now I have my own company that I founded on my own. It's called Fund the Mental Works. And it's all about the mindset. It's all about achieving greatness. Is all about personal development. It's all about professional development, and it's all about helping the 9-to-5er and the immigrants build generational wealth with their paychecks, their W-9s, and their taxes. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm a wealth and wellness educator. I've been traveling the world for the last 5 years. I haven't had a job. Fortunate enough to be back in a high school where I worked at 10 years ago. My friend who became assistant principal there, she saw me on Instagram in October when I was about to leave back to DR. And she said, yo, you're doing cool financial stuff online. Would you want to come into the school and do it? So right now I'm teaching wealth and wellness in the school, and I do wealth and wellness coaching full time, and I do real estate investing full time.
That's dope. That's dope. That last part came full circle. That's pretty dope. Yo, I'm going to tell you something. And obviously we got 20 plus years of friendship, so that this pod is going to be a little bit different. I remember one time I'm going to jump right to this, and it's something that I bring up to people now, okay, that you probably, I've never told you, but I was in your crib one time and you were talking, it was like 10 of us in the crib, and I think we were watching basketball. So I'm not even a basketball fan. I just wanted to be around some love. That's all it was for me. And you got up and you looked at the mirror and you were like, the other day I looked at myself in the mirror and I could finally, like, you saw yourself and you knew who you were. Yeah. And that's something that stuck like to me. Like it planted a seed in my brain. And that was like, I don't even think my daughter was born yet. So I was like 2013. And I remember like thinking like, damn, like I can't do that. I can't do what he does. Like look in the mirror and really see who that is. What do you, and I'm sorry to jump right to that, but it's something that I've never told you one-on-one, but it's something that I could tell you today. I look in the mirror and I'm like, I know exactly who the fuck that is in the mirror. You know what I mean? I know who I am. I know who I'm not. I know the things I could do, fuck myself heavy, fuck with myself heavy. But I think it was such a dope moment in history, that moment where you said that, and I understood what you said, and at the same time, I couldn't relate at that moment. What do you think led you to that moment where you felt confident enough to look in the mirror and know who you were? Like, what did that mean to you?
Yo, that's profound, and we never spoke about this. So like that, you started off like this is crazy. I want to say thank you for seeing me and thank you for receiving me, my brother. Um, growing up, how we grow up, bro, like a lot of people don't really get to live the beautiful misery that we live and the organized chaos that we live, right? So a lot of times we're consumed by society and we want to be basketball players, we want to be rappers, and we want to be these things that society feeds us. And for the
Yeah.
longest time, I just thought like I wanted to be gangster, or I wanted to be a rapper, or I wanted to be an outside dude. And like if you know, like everybody used to come to the crib before back in the days, And
Yeah.
I remember like for a long time, like I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror when I brushed my teeth. So I always used to like look down and all these other things. And I felt like I just didn't know who I was. But then in that moment when we were hanging out, I feel like I found purpose and I found identity. And, like, I think that at that time I was battling a lot of things in 2013 and 2014, where I felt like I had to be loyal to the soil and loyal to my sandbox friends and childhood friends that were doing things that weren't aligned with me.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher and I'm hanging out with people not doing teacher things, if you know what I'm saying. But everybody knows, everybody got somebody in their family or a neighbor that went to jail. Everybody knows somebody that sells drugs. Everybody knows that somebody that has a gun. Like everybody, it doesn't matter what city, what town. It doesn't matter where you're from. And at that time, I felt like we were just so like consumed on misconceptions of masculinity. And all we had to do was be like hardcore and like want to fight everybody and do all this and do all that. And that was like a groundbreaking point in my life, because I remember I had graduated college in 2009. And in those 4 years I was in college, I was coming back to the hood and like dudes are drinking Hennessy and like we all wearing the same Jordans with the same sweater and the same Yankee hat, like on Christmas. And I'm like wearing different things. I'm a little bit different now. And I'm over here like, yo, guys, let's drink 99 bananas with devil sprig. And dudes is looking at me like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? We only drink Hennessy. And that's when I kind of figured out like, yo, like I'm different. And there's nothing wrong with different. And that's when I really stepped into my identity and my purpose. But I feel like you have always known who you've been. And I feel like you have always been somebody who sticks out like a sore thumb. Like you're this kid that's not Dominican in Washington Heights. The way that I met you, like we were already freshmen in high school. You had like a safety transfer. You came in with a black eye, right? First day of school, you're looking like Eminem and Slim Shady, but like you knew who you were. So like I always like idolized that about you, that like you always stood 10 toes deep into Madrid, your last name, who you were, and you weren't scared that 99% of the school was Dominican. So like how did you grow up like that, and how did you like find your identity at such a young age? Because I didn't find my identity until I was like 24.
For me, and like I know we always talk about that, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. I had gotten jumped at a previous school that I was in. I was in a school, so my brother had told me like you need to not go to G Dubs, go anywhere else but G Dubs. So when you're doing the whole thing, and I was never a good student, so I got accepted to the school, and I was like, all right, perfect. It's on 114th and West 114th Street. So I'm like, all right, it's not in the Harlem. It's probably right by Central Park, something like that. Little did I know it was like predominantly all black school, right? And I had some fun there, but it was chaos. No metal detectors. We had people from other blocks coming into the school, hanging out. It was one of those things that you see in the movies where people throwing like paper bag, like just it was a clusterfuck. Like there was nothing good going on there. And I was headed towards the wrong direction that I had no business involving myself in, and I got caught out there and I got jumped. And my mom was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna kill you!" And I was like a little skinny white boy looking cat, like, you know what I mean?
Shaggy hair.
Yeah, I had long hair, I had braids back then. Now I'm bald. But what I think saved me even then was the fact that I loved hip hop and I used to rap,
All the
right?
time.
So even in those blocks down in 114th in Harlem, I used to rap with everybody. They used to call me Bubba back in those days, like Bubba Sparks.
Yeah, bubble sparks.
Yeah. So and funny enough, I went to the same school as T Rex, the battle rapper.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was a grade above me. But yeah, we used to all spit. So that's what saved me. I got jumped, got transferred over to G Dubs, and the first day of school, I think I took off my hat, I put it under the thing, and then I think it was you that came up to me and was like, "Yo, you left your hat." And then we started talking from there, and that was it, bro. Like what was dope about that is like to be embraced, you know, because your first day of school, for me, for you guys, it was like March because I got jumped
yeah,
on March. I never
yeah,
forgot March 15th. So it was like March 20th or something like that. And you guys approached me. It was you, Omar, some other cat, Miguel, like a bunch of dudes, and it was all love. And I was so scared, bro, because I'm like, come from this other school, I don't know nobody. You know, this is my neighborhood too, to top it off. And you know, just the way I was received, and we started talking, and I told you guys I rapped, and right away you were like, I spit something, and I spit something. Like I was always for it. I was like, yeah, I had
yeah,
no shame. And that was it. That's what I was known for in the school. Like, oh, he raps, he's cool, he's funny,
yeah.
tranquilo, and that was
Oh,
it, bro.
man. Yeah. I remember that you came in and like it was like already warm. And I'm like, yo, like who like everybody's looking at you like, like the new kid.
Yeah,
Right? Like the new kid always gets the eyes. And I'm like, yo, like what's up with this kid? Got a black eye and everything like that. But something about the people that you mentioned, we always was raised to have good character, consideration, and Dominicans, cariño y
yeah,
comida. So
yep,
like when you came in, we're like we embraced like, yo, like who are you? What's your story? This is the third,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And I remember you rapped right away. And you don't know the impact that you had or have on people. Because at that time, everybody was like just doing their schoolwork or whatever it was. But you came in and you was rapping. And shout out to Miss Lisa, my favorite teacher ever in life.
yeah,
We got a tag on this.
yeah,
You was writing rap songs every single day.
yeah,
He was letting you get away with it because you were still writing and doing work.
yeah, yeah.
And that like when you started doing that, I started seeing that like on top of your page, you used to put oak. And I'd be like, yo, what is oak? What is
Yep.
oak? I asked him, yo, what's oak? And you were like, yo, that's my rap name. And then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just definition of why is oak and this is the third, and I'll let you explain that later. But
yeah,
what you started right there, bro, you were the only one that was writing rap songs. After that, like if you got there March 20th, by April 1st, no fools,
yeah.
everybody was
No
not
fool.
doing work and everybody was writing rap songs in their book.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how O became O, and everybody else became everybody because you were exercising the pen, and
yeah.
like your lyrics were dope. I remember like looking at you like you had a mixture of like Nas and Big L. You were very
Hmm.
witty, but very smart and very classy, while everybody else just wanted to shoot guns and be like
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was my shit. I think in a sense like hip hop is just like the saying like it saved my life in a lot of ways because when I came from that other school in Harlem, like it was a gang related high school, so there was no way around it. Like you were gonna hang out with somebody, you were gonna get involved in something, and it's like again like my belief in God. It was like yo, it gave me a tate quieto. Like I got hit with brass knuckles in the face. My eyes like closed up. When I got to Dubs, it was almost opening up, and it was bloodshot red. So I went there almost like if it was equivalent to going into jail. Like yo, what you in here for, kid? I'm like, I got jumped. I got jumped. It's like, oh shit, where? And then when I said where, they're like, oh, don't worry, nobody comes up here from down there. Like it was not that type of thing.
Mind you, you went from a predominantly black school to heavily Dominican infested 99.9. And like
Yeah.
the three black kids that were in the school, they only used to hang out with us.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
always say that, and like I have to, because people misconstrue the way things come out, but like legit, and this is said with all love, right from the bottom of my heart. If you were black in Washington Heights, you were known. Everybody knew you. There
everybody.
wasn't a lot of like black people in the Heights, and if we knew you, period.
In fact,
And it's all love. This is not.
everybody,
I'm not saying in this with no mat. Like it's legit.
Yeah, we live now it's a little different, it's a little mixed, but still heavily populated. But like back then in the early 2000s,
Yeah,
in the 90s, it was only Dominicans. So there
yeah,
were like three blacks. Like our school in total had like about 2,000 kids. Legit, I am not exaggerating. You cannot count 10 black kids in the whole
yeah,
school.
yeah. No, no, no.
And those kids and those black kids, those were all our friends.
Mhm.
Like they used to get the pass and they used to be able to walk through Washington Heights because they was with us. Because we
Yeah,
used to hold it down. Everybody used to know us from the hood. Like we was outside early. Like
yeah.
early we was outside. Like I'm talking
And
about I
that
remember
area was trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Like 189, 188, that was not an area that you really wanted to be caught out there and not know anybody.
yeah,
It was not. I don't know how it is now, and I'm pretty sure there's still realness out there. But like I remember during that time, like you had to know somebody
yeah,
because they'll pull your car quick, especially because it was a predominantly. It's the same thing in Harlem, like in all black. Now it's a little bit more gentrified, but like back then, if you were a Spanish kid coming around that neighborhood, they would check you. Who you coming to like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah,
and
man, it was dope, and that was the perfect start to our
a brotherhood,
friendship,
a
yeah, our
brotherhood. Yeah,
brotherhood. Yeah. And I feel like, and I don't say this a lot, but even like passing my math regents was because of Chris, because somebody slipped.
oh, your last name was M, and we was in the
Yeah,
same
I
room.
said we were like that back to back. So like I think he was behind me or in front of me, and I was just like, "Yo, I'm not I got like a 65. I passed by
Barely.
luck,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I
that was
always used
it."
to have the answers. Like, I was always a geek. I always loved school and everything like that. And like, um, I feel like a lot of people get like they think that school makes them smart, but you've always been somebody who's been extremely smart, right? And
Yeah,
because you get a 65 on a test or 100 on the test, that doesn't make you smart. Surviving makes you smart.
yeah,
Choosing the right answers makes you smart, right? Like you getting out of that school when you got out, it makes you smart. You transferring makes you smart. You moving the way that you was moving makes you smart. So a lot of times in life, people think that school and these degrees make you smart. Social Darwinism it makes you smart. You know what I'm saying? Like
break that
surviving.
down because you just said some that I'm not too in tune with. To break that down.
Social Darwinism, bro. Survival of the fittest. Think
Okay.
about everybody who ever got a tattoo when they was little, like Allen Iverson, survival of the fittest, right? Like
Yeah.
but like, if you survive, you are smart. If you get thrown
Gotcha.
in the middle of a jungle, the middle of Harlem, Canada, China, and you survive, you're smart. Well, because of how we grew up in a dysfunctional society,
Yeah.
Washington, I love you. Um, you know not to go down that side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know not to go down that alley. So that makes you smart by making life smart, altering decisions.
Yeah.
So like that's why like even now like when I go off in wellness, like people, I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a broker. I don't have any certificates. I don't have any diplomas. And the reason that I do these things is because I'm intentional and I want every immigrant and I want every 9 to 5 worker to be able to relate to me. I have all these people that be coming up to me, Anthony, and they be like, yo, you should be a realtor for our company. You can make a lot of money. You can do a lot of this. I'll be like, nah, because I want to keep it from the ground. I want to keep it from the mud. Like the mission is that everybody can do this. Once I start getting certificates and diplomas and start getting college degrees, people are gonna get turned off by that because nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah.
So just being smart, bro. Being smart is all about surviving. That's all that's smart and figuring it out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
either figure it out or you quit. That's the only smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And that's something that we spoke offline, but like I'm big on that. Like 50 Cent, I saw an interview with 50 Cent talks about like not having a backup. Like he's like, if he got into some trouble, he had nowhere to go to. He's like, I'm my own backup. And that's the way I feel, especially like in the transition from being in New York City all my life and moving to Florida. Like that's what really did it for me. Where going back to like looking in the mirror and knowing who I am, it wasn't until I hit 30 years old that I was able to look in the mirror and say like, I know who you are now. Like, nice to meet you. You know what I
Yo,
mean? Because it like New York City raised me, and I had to leave to become a man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what did it for me now. Like, I could go anywhere and I know who I am. and I know how to, like, carry myself the way you're supposed to, like. And back to what you were saying, like the way I carried myself back then, like it was something was always in me, like to carry myself to what I thought to be a man, right? Because I didn't have an example of what a man was, like we don't have a lot of that. Like there's I can't even count on one hand people that I would say like, yo, that's a well-rounded man. You know what I'm saying? Like my stepdad was somebody who I admired. I had people from the hood, different, different walks of life, and most of them all did things that were illegal that I looked up to. You know what I mean? For different reasons. But I always enjoyed business. I always enjoyed having real conversation. I think that's one of the main reasons why me and you have been in touch for so long, like 20 plus years. Like I can't say that about a lot of people from high school, and then I think the conversation between me and you, like we'll talk our shit about the neighborhood and, and not say nothing negative, all positive, nothing but
Just
love
catch
to
up with,
Washington
catch up with
Heights.
the neighborhood, what's going
Yeah.
on, what's
What's going
changing.
And then it goes straight to some shit that helps one of us move the needle forward. That's what I'm all about. Is like, what could I get from this conversation to take me to another level, or to make me think different, or open up my mind to something that's gonna really make a difference. I don't like talking about bullshit, and I
Yeah,
think that's me and you are aligned when it comes to that, because we're about our business, and our
yeah.
business means everything: our life, our business, the way we make money, our love
The walk, the
interests, all
walk,
that
the
stuff.
walk, bro. The walk. How
Yeah.
we walk, bro. How we walk. Like, we've known each other for, I want to say, let's say 23 to 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good round off if we're gonna like be specific. Bro, there's people that I've known for 35 years. I was playing in the sandbox with them and everything like that lived in my building, that like, yo, like I can't even speak to them anymore because it's so surface level and there's no substance that, bro, like I don't speak to them anymore. And it's because like I have this filter where you can't get in. So like they see it from a mile away, bro. They be like, damn, yo, like that's not the same Chris. Because something that you alluded to earlier, that I think it's the reason you changed. You said that you had to leave the heights to find out who you were.
Mm.
Remember, I told you I had to leave to college. And when I came back from college is when I found out who I was. So
Yeah.
the further that I got away from Washington Heights, the more that I knew myself. How crazy
Facts.
is that? The
Yeah.
second thing that you said, bro, like growing up, where we from, ain't no great examples of a great wedding, a great marriage, a great relationship, or what a great man is supposed to be. Zero examples, bro. There's not nobody in this hood that I can say, be like, yo, they've been married for 30 years and they figured it out.
Yeah.
Because like we get consumed so much by society, like the material, the cars, the fake money that nobody got,
Yeah.
like that, like, yo, you can't even really grow up being real because everybody's faking it till they making it, and it's like, yo, nobody's making it because you're really faking it.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
when you see somebody like you that moves out, like starts multiple businesses, not knowing what you're doing, figuring it out,
Yeah.
starts a
Yeah.
podcast, starts a beautiful family with a beautiful woman and beautiful kids, and you are your own example. And then we gotta look at a couple of people from our neighborhoods. So we can be like, yo, like, all right, bro, like these 4 or 5 people kind of doing the same thing. I think we can talk to each other because we're all going through the same thing in life. Because honestly, bro, like I'm at the point in my life where it's like, I want to be like you, bro. I want to be far away from everybody. I don't care where I'm at. I want my one woman that I only need
Yeah.
one woman, and I want my kids. And it's like
Yeah.
so many times in society, like they, growing up, Anthony, ¿cuánta novia tú tienes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Nah, bro, like they already teaching you that wrong when you're 4 years old. So it's like it was hard growing up where we come from, bro. Like it's hard.
And that's one thing I'll tell you, and I say this a lot too. Um, the age 9 sticks out to me a lot all the time. At 9 years old, I already knew what I wanted. I knew I wanted I used to talk about it at 9 years old. I'm like, I want a wife, I want a house, I want kids, I want dogs. And to take it a step further, I was talking to my wife. By the way, shout out to Rachel. She joined. She's on our Instagram live. Thank you for thinking about this. Chris had reached out to. He put a post up like, tag whoever you guys think I should be on their podcast. And Rachel went ahead and tagged me on it. And much love to her, much love to Chris too, because I hadn't done an episode in a couple months. Life was lifing, and I had to put my money where my mouth was. And Chris was like, "I'm gonna leave this right here." He reposted it, "I'm gonna leave this here," and I hit him up. I'm like, "Yo, let's do it. What's up with Thursday?" One of us said it, and we're making it happen right now. So thank
Yo,
you
and
for that.
I want to give Rachel her flowers too. Yo, Rachel, thank you. You was my first best friend ever. Rachel was destined for greatness. I used to sit next to Rachel every single goddamn day in English class, and she always had a binder full of all the dresses that she was gonna make, and she did
Yes,
that, and she's continuing to do that. And Rachel, our hearts are with you. We love you. If you need to lean
yes,
on us, feel free to lean on us whenever you want. You are sister.
yes. Yep. Love, love, love. But yeah, so damn, where was I? Where was I? Um,
About just
I
growing
was
up in the hood and being a
growing
man,
up being
girls,
9 years
and
old, and then like I was having a conversation with my wife where I'm like, this is what I've always wanted. Like I knew what I wanted at 9 years old. And oh, that's what it was too. So I'm talking to the wife the other day and I'm like, hey, I want to do like what's it called? The when you put a bunch of pictures during New Year's, what is it called, Chris?
a
Our
collage,
vision board. A
vision
vision
board,
board.
a mood
So
board.
I saw somebody, I think it was Gary Vee, who was like, fuck a vision board, like, you know, and I'm always like, yeah, Gary Vee, fuck a vision board. And then somebody else was like, yo, it's good to look at it and this and that. So I came up with the idea. My wife executed. She put hers together. She's like, babe, I'm waiting on you so we could print the pictures of whatever you want. And this is a blessing to be able to say it, that I was like, I don't know what it is that I want to put up there because I genuinely feel like I have it all. You know what I mean? Within reason. Like, of course, I want a Rolls Royce. It's one of my dream cars. I probably will never want like actually buy one. I'll probably rent one. But like, it's one of those things where I was just like, everything that I need and desire, I have it in this little like, dog. I run home to go in the backyard fishing with my kids. Never caught a fish in my life. Still haven't. But it's the thought, the tranquility, enjoying. You know what I'm saying? That's why like the whole the KISS theory about keep it simple, stupid. Like when we start doing too much, is like when is enough enough? It'll never be. So with that said, like at 9 years old, I knew what I wanted. Fast forward to like a week ago, I was trying to do the vision board and dog, like I didn't know what to put up. I did put stuff together. I'm dying for a Tesla, but I put things that are in motion right now. Like I had the podcast thing on there, and it's things I want to execute. But I think that's a blessing within itself. And like coming from a neighborhood like ours is like, I remember at one point it's always about showing what you have, so you could be bigger and better than the next person. And I wasn't with that. Like I knew I didn't like that from the gate, from right out the gate. Like that
Yo,
wasn't me.
yo, listen, man. Like I faced a lot of obstacles because working in the music industry and working in the nightlife and traveling a lot for like 10 years. I was like going like taking like 6, 7 vacations a year from like 2013 to up in the pandemic, and I've always been somebody that like even when I was in college, like I always wanted to get married and I
Mm.
always wanted to have kids, and I used to tell myself all the time like you talk about your age is 9, my age was 18, right? That number again, where I told myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a girlfriend in college, I'm gonna marry, we're gonna graduate. Um, by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna have my first kid. When I'm 40, it doesn't matter if it's a girl, I'm gonna be better than her at volleyball. It doesn't matter if it's a boy, I'm gonna be better than him at basketball. And I always used to think about these things. And everybody else around me, like I've always been in relationships, and when I'm in relationships, I want to like just be in that one relationship.
Hmm.
And everybody else around me would be like, yo, Chris, yo, you got mad girls after you. You got this, you got that. I'd be like, yo, bro, like, that none of those things really serve me. And that's why those people are still lonely. They still live with their moms and they still don't pay no rent because they still living like it's 2003, bro. They living like
Yeah,
no life, the bachelor life, yo, bro. Like, a lot of people in our neighborhood growing up are scared of commitment and scared of trusting girls and scared of just because they never seen a successful relationship, right?
yeah,
And that was something that like I had to overcome quick because it's like we go into these relationships and then like these relationships like yo you have a great relationship, right? Like you speak to me every time I check in with you, yo, how the kids, how the wife, yo, chilling. Like when you was doing videos with your wife, I'm there, you killing it, keep showing your wife.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of times we start psyching ourselves out. This is too good to be true. This is
Yes.
too good to be true. Let me pinch myself. Nah, yo, like, nah. And you start like making up these like lies in your head. And it's like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
well, it is too good to be true. And it is very true. And it is good that it is true. Just stay in the good. And
Yeah.
that's something that, like, a lot of people, they don't have the emotional intelligence or the spiritual intelligence to understand that, like, yo, if it's good, it's good. You don't need to question good. You feel me? Go
Yeah.
question the bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it's so true, bro, because for so long, and it has to do with our neighborhood, like not just, and it's not just Washington Heights, because it also is like parent trauma where, my parents are from Chile. I only grew up with my mom, and like the traumas that she brought over, passing it off to us, you know what I mean, like all that stuff, and like feeling like you're doing too much. Like, you mentioned something earlier about like when people see you and they're like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, whatever it may be, that all the things that you got going on, you're not the Chris that they once knew. You've evolved, and not everybody's on that type of time and can understand what you're doing. So, ese se cree whatever, right? It's the same thing where like my mom has said that to me, where it's like, she's like, oh, yo no sé lo que tú te creí. And I'm like, damn, bro, like it'll be a stranger to tell you some shit like that. But when it comes from those closest to you, you start doubting yourself. And that's when you start, I think, things like that feed into you. And if you let it, you'll fuck a great thing up. And
Yo,
again, that's why you
absolutely.
have to like, break out of that mold. And people get upset with you when they start seeing that you don't talk like them anymore. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you're talking about investing, my brother. Like, you got people that are still, like you said, living with their mom, that are talking about what we doing Friday night or Thursday night.
And there's people that still doing the same exact thing Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, going to brunch, going to the club, smoking hookah, getting drunk the next day and doing it again. And for me, bro, like, I know you go through it because we've spoken about this.
Yeah, yeah.
But like everybody who transforms, evolves, let's just say more or less for people that you go from the grasshopper to the butterfly, right?
Mhm.
Evolving. A lot of people stay as the caterpillar. So when
Yeah.
you up here doing caterpillar stuff, I mean, you're doing butterfly stuff over here, and people still doing caterpillar stuff. They're looking at you like, yo, bro, you think you're too good for us? No, bro, I'm just doing the butterfly stuff over here.
I evolved.
Butterfly cannot be a caterpillar. And like the same thing with my nephew, right? Like my nephew, like I started playing golf. I started golfing a
Mhm.
lot in 2017 and 2018 because I'm dealing with investors now. So the only way to like break these deals, because I don't do regular real estate, I know how to do those things and I still do those things, but I do multifamily syndications, which means that like I have to go with people that make more than $300,000 on paper. I have to give their paperwork to the government, and then the government can say if they can invest in this deal. So
Mhm.
the only way to break deals is on the golf course. So my nephew's like, yo, Theo, like, you don't play basketball no more. What are you doing playing golfing and this and the third? I'm like, yo, Steph Curry golfs, Michael Jordan golfs. I'm like, yo, this is like, I'm at the point in my age where it's like, I can't run fast. I can't jump high. So I have to start thinking about the next level of my life. So the way that I broke it, he couldn't get it. So the way
Yeah.
that I have to break it down to him, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to break it down to everybody that's 30, 40, 50 on this podcast, is, yo, do you want to stay as the same exact Pokemon, or do you want to evolve to another Pokemon? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I told him that. He looked at me like, I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, we have to evolve. The only Pokemon that ever stayed the same is Pikachu. Like, all the other Pokemons evolve. So
Yeah.
once I started breaking it down to him like that, like he started understanding, and it's like, yo, like it's not my fault that people stay as the same Pokemon and I'm the one that's evolving. And then it's like
Yeah.
you spoke about the language, right? Speaking a different language. You'll forget about speaking a different language. When you speak the same language as someone, that's when you know you're in the right room. Like me and you have always spoken the same language, and you've always evolved in your language, even in
Mhm.
like in your faith. Like we speak the same language. In your figure it out, we speak the same language. In the trauma healing that you've done, we speak the same language. There's still
Yeah.
people out here, bro, that are speaking the same trauma bonding language.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I listen, I'm not better than anybody. I don't think that I'm better than anybody. I don't think that I do anything better than anybody. I just continue constantly to work on myself and not stop. That's all that I'm about. You know what I'm saying? So,
You know what
uh,
I've learned too, bro? Like, and it doesn't mean I'm better. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I've learned to give myself my own pats in the back. Like, you're a good sport. Like, you're doing a good job. And the thing is too, like, and I say this, this is a flex, and I'm gonna call myself out on it too. But like sometimes, even dealing with people here in these areas and stuff like that, like sometimes I'm like, yo, the reason me and you aren't eye to eye because we're not on the same level,
on the same wave.
same frequency, whatever it is. You're talking about some bullshit. I'm over here shopping for pavers for my backyard. It's not the same conversation. Like you're over here bullshit and talking about what you're gonna like. Nah, bro, the conversation is different. We're like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm constantly looking. Yo no estoy tranquilo. Like I constantly have to be evolving. I have to be talking about something that inspires me, talking to people who inspire me too, that we could feed off of each other. And I think that's what's important. That's why when people tell me like, "Are you gonna come up to New York again?" And I know it sounds bad, but like, it's the circle that I was once a part of is no longer there because again, like you've stayed like here, and I've been, just traveling everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I still have my highs and my lows. That's part of life, but it's just different. Like when people ask me, like, when you coming up to New York, I have nothing I want to do in New York other than probably take my kids to go see the Rockets.
Yo,
That's it.
and maybe see Mama Love for the holidays once in a while. You feel me?
Or and I was gonna tell you this earlier, or go for the day, legit. Like I was looking at flights to leave in the morning, like go over there in the morning and leave at nighttime to go on your event. You know what I'm saying? Like just go and come right back, and
Yo,
that's
June
it.
21st, Saturday, no ceilings, defy limitation, exceed expectations. More than 200 people on the yacht in New York City around the beautiful, beautiful infrastructure of New York. Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. It's going to
And
be
Chris,
people just like me and just like you, bro. People that are
talk,
seeking personal and professional growth.
talk about this right here, real quick. You see how you spoke about going golfing, right? And the thing is like I just went to a company event, right? We had like a summit. It was here in Florida, but I had to go stay at the hotel, right, with everybody else. After the summit was like, the office hours was done. They had networking events where you would go and they had open bar. There's a reason for networking events. And that's where I think a lot of us fuck up. Like we go to networking events, right? And we get fucked up versus having a drink. Who knows who you're going to rub shoulders with? And I was rubbing shoulders with people who were vice presidents of this department, that department. By the time I left, everybody knew who Madrid was, right? Because it was a conscious effort for me to make a great impression and for me to present myself in the way that I want to be perceived, which is a smart young man who's hungry, who's looking to climb up, and take it as far as he can. For you,
Yo,
it's the same thing when you go to these golf events. Like you're an athlete, so you're probably whooping ass. You've always been great at any sport,
all
right?
right, all right.
So that even serves you even more because there's more of a conversation there. But talk about that. Like, what are these golf events like? Like, you don't have to get deep into what conversations you're having, but what doors have opened up since you've been attending these type of events?
Yo, my world has changed. I've been able to evolve and look at myself in the mirror and like redefine like purpose or like sharpen the blade more than redefine. The purpose has
Yeah.
always been there, but like you see how we were talking about like you with your girl and like with your wife, and I'd be like, it's too good to be true. Yo,
Yeah.
like when I first was golfing with these dudes, I'm like, yo, this is too good to be true. Like
We
this,
don't belong here.
yo, bro, I'm with people that are billionaires,
Mm.
have more than $500 million in assets. For sure, more than $10 million. And I'm over here like a kid growing up on EBT, Section A. I'm like, yo, like at first I'm looking at myself. I'm like, yo, what am I doing here? And then it's like, yo, by the grace of God, I belong here. This is where I gotta be. This is my circle. These are my people. bro, I'm just humbled and I'm grounded, bro, because like honestly, like for the first no ceilings, we had billionaires on the boat. We had people that I golf with on the boat. And
Yeah.
we also had people who were felons that came out of jail and transformed their life, but are intentional about where they want to go and what they
Yeah.
want to do, right? Because
Yeah.
for me, everything that I do now is with intentionality, bro. Like, yo, my phone be hot, bro. I'm talking about spicy. Like, people be hitting me up. Yo, come promote at this club. Yo, come sell at this table. Yo, come do this. Yo, but never, never, never. You can't pay me enough to do those things. So, like, I have to be intentional in everything that I'm doing. So, when I put this event together, it was about no ceilings. We're gonna do this on the yacht or we're gonna do this on a rooftop because there is gonna be no ceiling to where we are going. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like there is no roof. So for me, I just want to be around dynamic individuals who want to share their stories, who want to share resources, and who want to make people better, bro. And I'm intentional on everybody that I invite. And I'm
That
happy.
that's what this whole podcast like. So the reason, so you might know him. He used to rap. His name is Falasso. He was my favorite rapper back in the day. He plays ball too. You guys know each other from
Yo,
playing
listen, if
ball.
anybody play ball, I put them in a casket. I'm very competitive. You
Shots
know?
fired. Shots fired.
You know I'm very competitive when it comes to sports or anything. I only compete against myself. I want to be the best that I can be. But I've been killed a lot of dudes.
Well, him. So we were funny enough. It was like 3-4 years ago. I was sitting down playing video games and playing video games. That sound like it was what it was, bro. I was sitting down. I suck. I'm ass. 2K, whatever it is.
I don't even
Deep.
own video games. I never had that.
I'm not good at it. But I was like, fuck it. So he hit me up like, yo, let's play. So we're playing and I'm asking him questions. I'm just a naturally curious person, right? Entrometido, I guess you want to call it, but it's just natural. And he's like, yo, you ask really good questions. You should start a podcast. Yo, he threw that idea out there and I ran with it. I looked at all my pressure washing equipment, my window cleaning equipment, and I'm like, babe, I'm selling everything and I'm starting a podcast. Legit, sold everything. And like I told you before, I think it was offline. Like my wife supports all my craziness. Talking about $1,000 camera one day, and she's like, babe, you bugging. We got goals, we got this. And I'm over here like pitching the idea. I'm like, babe, we could do this. And I could boom, boom, boom. She's like, all right, go ahead, buy it. Right. So anyway, sold everything that started the podcast. And the whole reason behind the podcast is because I genuinely feel there's not enough of us passing the plug. Legit. And if you want to
That's always,
relate it, we
that's
could
always
speak.
been your thing. That's always been your thing. Since a
Yeah,
little kid, pass the plug. That's always
pass
been
the
your thing.
plug. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like pass the plug, dog. Like what it is, like what's going on here? And it's we could take it to the streets, right? For those folks that know who the plug is a very VIP, right? That's the person that will help you make some money. And just like in paid in full, like not everybody wants to pass the plug. People are very stingy with it. You got to be careful who you give it. So I wanted to be the plug, the podcast that is a plug of information. Where I invite people, they're gonna inspire others, that are gonna give you a piece of knowledge that you didn't know. That you come here, you listen to us talk some shit about life, adulting, where we grew up, family, like and business, but you leave with something. You know what I mean? And that's the whole reason behind the podcast, because in so many different walks of life that I've been in, like there's people that can lend a helping hand and make your journey a little bit easier, but they purposely don't, and they turn their back. And when me and my wife got to Florida, and no shade on anybody, we didn't land in nobody's house. We booked our apartment from up there, signed the lease without even seeing the apartment, and we landed and we set up shop. We went through being broke, all that stuff. Like I've said it on other episodes before. And little by little, it was one person that told me, he's like, hey, if you need a job, they're hiring over here, referred me. And I grabbed it, pause, and I took off. And I never looked back from there. And that's what I think a lot of people also get it fucked up, where it's like, if somebody lends you a helping hand, they don't have to stay there and walk you your whole journey. Like the whole thing is pass the plug and keep it moving and keep it evolving. You know what I mean?
You listen. I have a problem with this because I am very detailed and intentional in how I give you an answer. But like the answer that I'm gonna give you, it might be a detailed 10-minute answer. I lived this life for a long time. I can't give you 30 years of answers. Like you got the plug. You gotta know how to cook on your own. You gotta know how to hit the block on your own. You gotta know how to protect yourself on your own. You learn the way on the way. Like there's no other way to learn but to like walk through the fire. A lot of people are out here thinking that like we got the answers and all these other things. That's why I always loved you, bro. Because you always ask mad questions. You were always mad curious, and then you got the answers. And then you go figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Like, well, what else do you need? Like, do you need them to help hold your hand, sleep with you every single day? And like, nah, bro. Like, a lot of people out here think that this Mr. Madrid podcast, this Chris Works real estate investor and event curator happened overnight. This happened over a lot of nights of compounding and stacking nights before you finally like understand. And then you ready for this? You still don't know the answer. You still got to keep searching for more answers on the way. So that's why I love the word question. Quest, right? You're on a quest, right? That's why you ask the question. And then once you get the question and you get the answer, like think about every movie. Hey, where is Mr. Madrid's house? Oh, you got to go down the road. You got to make a left at the light. And then you got to go up the stop sign. And then you figure out the journey on the way. Bro, like nobody has the answers. Nobody.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, and then real quick, shout out to my wife. She's on too. She's watching. She said entitlement. A lot of people are entitled. So
listen, I want to talk about this. Mrs. Madrid. Listen, entitlement. I feel a lot of things about entitlement, and I feel like entitlement has changed throughout the decades. Right? Like we are currently living in a society where everybody wants to be spoiled, spoon-fed, and entitled. I grew up from an era where you had to be a bully.
Yep.
I grew up in an era where you had to really get it out the mud. Like you had to put your hands in the dirt, get dirt in your nails, and really get it. I never asked anybody for anything. I never wanted anything that I never earned on my own. And that's the difference between you and I, brother, and everybody else. Everybody feels like they need to get things handed to them, like they deserved it. Yo, bro, listen, if you got to walk through 1,000 days of fire before you get to the end goal, then that's what you got to do. There's no entitlement out here. And I'm really upset with, I want to speak about the role of a man and the role of a woman, bro.
Yeah.
Like so many things have changed, right? So many things mean different words now. Loyalty means different.
Yeah.
Like a woman is different. A man is different. Yo, like listen, a lot of roles have changed. A lot of things have changed, right? A lot of jobs have changed. A lot of careers have changed. You might not even have to go to college to be a millionaire or do whatever it is you got to do. But yo, the role of a man has never, ever, ever, ever changed. You go back to 2000 BC, you go back to 2000, you go back to 1985. The role of a man is to protect and provide.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of things are different now. And I feel like there's a lot of entitled, sassy boys.
There's bitch assness. That's like people don't like me saying Diddy. Like, that's something that he used to use. It used to be called bitch ass. There's a lot of bitch assness out there, entitlement, and like the world has gotten soft.
Yo, super
soft.
And yo, listen, I'm aggressive, but like
with love. We get you. We feel you. He's passionate.
I'm super passionate. Yo, we live in a society where everybody's so soft. Yo, listen, man. Yo, y'all gotta step it up, man. Y'all gotta be, man. Y'all gotta protect. Y'all gotta provide. You gotta understand. You gotta be there for your family. You gotta be there for your wife. If you got a bird or a dog, you gotta be there for everybody, bro.
Yeah,
you are the last line that gets taken care of. You gotta take on everything in the household. And when you go to a wife that Mr. Madrid has, that's a beautiful woman that he talks about behind the scenes, and he tells me that you're doing a great job. Yo, I busted my ass cleaning windows, Chris. I went to this meeting in the summer and whatever, and I was mad tired, and I wanted a massage. And my girl told me that her feet hurt. And I had to rub her feet, and I didn't get a massage that day. That's what being a man is about, bro.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that are not doing manly things because they soft. And that has to do with a whole bunch of LGBTQ community.
Yo, and another thing too is
I love everybody.
So yeah, love for everybody. We whatever you want to a certain degree. Two things, right? So the first one was when we were talking about entitlement. I'll give you an example. This is when I moved in with my wife, right? 2013, we're about to have a baby, and I wanted to redo the floors in her apartment. Right, I'm moving into her spot, right, all up in her shit. Um, so I was like, I want to put these laminate floors, whatever. I didn't know how to use a saw, so my cousin, right, um, he came and brought the saw. Yo, legit. When I tell you, it was like probably 10 o'clock at night. He lives in the Bronx. He came out to Queens. He's like, Anthony, I'm gonna show you this one time, and I'm leaving. He said, grab. And he didn't even do it himself. He said, grab the wood, the 2x4, mark it, miter saw, cut it. He said, you cut. Okay, I'm out. Gone. That was it. I didn't say like, oh, he didn't shoot. No. Fast forward, right? 2021, 22, was doing window cleaning. It got slow. I built my own fireplace at the house. I'm running through these things. I fell on hard times. My wife is like, why don't you offer those fireplaces as part of a business? Madrid Woodworks, right? Everything is Madrid. So I started doing, I built 12 of those and it helped me feed my family. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about like, somebody shows you how to fish, right? They don't catch the fish for you. They show you how to fish and then you take off from there and you feed yours.
That's a
So this
fact.
whole shit about entitlement, like, oh, nobody showed me, nobody stayed next to me. Like, yo, figure that shit on your own. Figure that shit out on your own,
That's
and
why I
and,
love you
and
so
keep it
much.
moving from there.
That's why I love you so much because you and I were always two people that wanted to leave. We love our mothers. We always
Yep.
wanted to leave our mothers because we always wanted that sense of independence and self sufficiency. And we always wanted to do things on our own. And that's what a real man is. And what's going on is a lot of these men, they want their mom doing laundry for them, cooking for them 24/7. Yo, listen, I love my mama's meal, but bro, like, I want to cook my own meals. I want to wash my own drawers. You feel me? So it's like, yo, like this is just a men challenge that we're gonna cut this up and we're gonna put this on Monday, whatever, man up Mondays or whatever. Yo, y'all
Yeah.
gotta step it up, bro. Y'all gotta step it up. We gotta protect our women. Like yo, the other day I'm on the train and there's New York City's you pay $3 for the best show on earth, MTA, right? I'll be on the train and like I get on the train at 5:30 in the morning and I sit next to this like Ecuadorian girl, and right across from me is like this Dominican older lady. She might be like 60, and there was a homeless person bugging out. So I saw the Ecuadorian girl that was next to me like clutch her bag. So I told her respectfully, I'm like, yo, look, listen, nothing's gonna happen over here. If he comes over here, trust me, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I see the doña, I'm like, doña, estamos bien, estamos con Dios. Bro, they felt good. Men, step up. Men, step
Yeah.
up.
No.
There's
100%.
a lot of innocent women and that are getting hurt, and a lot of things are going on because y'all just being bystanders when y'all really gotta step up and be upstanders. So that's my challenge to all men, bro. Because like real talk, we're getting soft out here, and the definition of a man is changing every single day. When it's never gonna change in the Bible, it's never gonna change in the movies, it's never gonna change in the books. Protect and provide.
Yeah. 100%. And one thing, like, one thing I always say, and I don't know if you agree with it, but like, with that said, I think, and I'm not trying to set excuses for anybody because I've learned on my own. So have you, how to be your own man and do what you think is right. Um, but with women too, like, you have to let the man be a man too in the relationship, right? That it's a two-way street. Like, I have to let the woman be a woman, let a man be a man, and let us lead, and that's why I think I speak from my relationship. It works so well. Like, she lets me lead, but it's also, there's decisions that I have a hard time saying decisions, um, that we do together. Like, we come together and we figure things out. It's just like in an organization, in a business, there's going to be people that are better at certain things than others. That's why they're in that department. My
Yeah,
wife is the say all be all for some departments, and in other
absolutely.
departments I'm here. But
100%.
my job is to make sure that I steer the ship in the right direction. And there's going to be times where even me steering the boat in the right direction, she may, I hate the word check, but she may have to check me and be like, babe, like you're falling asleep at the wheel or whatever the fuck, and I take it, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
we work that out together and we're like, all right, let's,
yes, yes, absolutely.
redirect, recalibrate this whole shit.
I
Oh, she just told me.
concur.
So
I agree with you 100% on that, bro.
I
So
don't know
that,
if you guys can see it. So
now,
this is
when they see
this
it,
is the elm, and my
blow.
wife has the anchor. So I guide us and she holds me down. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, bro. And
And
that's what a beautiful relationship is about, bro. Like, let's just say, for some odd reason, she's the one that can sail the ship the best, and you got to be the anchor. Then that's just the role that you got to play, and that's
yeah,
perfectly fine.
yeah.
Whoever is the genius or the expert in that department is
Yep.
who has to lead that department,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's a lot of men that cook better than their wives. That's fine. You're the one that got to cook for the kids when they get home and got to figure it out. That like there's a lot of things that like I feel like society has made gender roles when they're not. Like, bro, everybody has to do their laundry.
Yeah.
Everybody has to cook. If you don't cook, you don't eat. So like these are not gender roles. Like a man is supposed to know how to cook. A man is supposed to know how to do laundry. A man is supposed to know how to sweep and mop because those are just human things. Those are not woman or man things. Now there's
Yeah.
other things that I believe, like you were saying, that depending on the dynamic of your relationship, that
Yeah.
men just really have to lead. And another thing that I was talking about, like in being soft and all these redefinitions of men and women, like yo, bro, like what are women doing with the name on Instagram or whatever it is, King Jennifer, King Stephanie, or like yo, sis, you are a
Yeah.
queen. Stop trying to be something that you are not. And I think that that's what society has ruined, where like they let you be like, oh yeah, you can be whatever you want to be. Oh, today I want to be a girl. Today I want to be a king. Today I want to be a queen.
You're about to turn this, because remember back in the day, is like if he's not making money, he can't tell you what to do, right? But if
Yeah,
he's making money, then he's the boss. Now the girls are getting the bags, and so it's all fucked up, man.
yeah,
It's all
but
fucked up.
listen, but listen, the bag has nothing to do with the role. Women,
Hmm.
because we've taken on this, bro. Men been getting the bag since day one. It is beautiful that women are getting the bag because now
Yeah,
we are adding to our goals. We are
yeah.
supplementing our lifestyle. So you should get the bag. You feel
But
me?
this is what happens too. Once the woman starts getting the bag, it's her bag. It doesn't become, and this is not the case in my household. Not to
We're
put some,
talking about
babe,
society.
I'm not putting too much out there, babe. But I'm just saying, like, equally yoked. My money's her money's my, like, we're together in this. Not saying that it has to be like that in everybody else's household, but like it can't, and I see sometimes memes and guys on Instagram saying like, if she's working, that's her money and whatever, like you're the man, you provide. And I'm like, dog, that's in your house. Don't be telling me what to do in my house. And my goal,
Our
just
relationship. Listen, that our relationship, that's not going down. Straight up.
my goal, and I always tell my wife, I'm like, my goal is that she does not need to work. But until then, we're on the same mission, babe. I haven't accomplished what I accomplished here in Florida by myself. It's been with my wife. Her continuously. She works, I work. Her putting the battery in my back when I'm having a moment of doubt, and it's like that's what it's about, bro.
And yo, listen, you said mission, right? Let's talk about the word submission. She's not submitting to you, you're not submitting to her. You both are submitting to the submission, the actual mission, right? So like there's a mission, right? Like that we're both submitting to. It's not one person submitting to one person and the other one being more powerful. Nah, babe, this is the mission, this is what
Yeah,
we're doing, and we're both on that mission together, right? So
yeah,
like man, listen, call me old school, call me classic, call me whatever you want. But I know that the way that you are living is the way that a lot of people should live. I'm not saying that they should live exactly like you, but they should have commonalities and similarities as far as roles, right?
yeah.
Because, but man, like, listen, this is just like the world that we live in today. The most important thing to do is look in the mirror and identify who you are. Step
Facts.
into that, be who you are, look in the mirror. If you don't got a six pack and the mirror's telling you you don't got a six pack, You do not have a six pack, bro. So like a lot of people be looking in the mirror. Oh yeah, I got a six pack. Nah, bro, you're looking at yourself backwards. And I think that's a big part of mental health, where people don't know their identity, they don't know what they are, they don't know what they're
Yeah.
coming from, and they don't know what they're going. And that's why I've been so proud of you, bro. Like I'll be getting asked to be on mad podcasts, to do mad things, and like if it's not in alignment with me, bro, like I just don't even go. Like I love being by myself. You know me, bro. You used to come to the crib. It used to be NBA playoffs. 20 people
Yeah.
here every game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've thrown parties my whole life, bro. Like I was the biggest extrovert in life. Now, what I tell people is I'm an introvert with extrovert skills. I like to be by myself, but I love socializing with people that are aligned with me. So that's why, like, I started seeing like that there was this like this gap or this
Yeah.
need in New York City for people to get together and really speak about dope things to grow.
Yeah.
And that's what like, yo, bro, like, so all my friends, I love you.
And I saw by the way, shout out to Ace IOD, shout out to Jason from Blast Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Much love to all you guys.
The hood.
I saw a video that you recently did that where you were speaking out and you were talking about the reason that you do what you do is you're starting off with the immigrants that have immigrated to this country and you're trying to give them some knowledge. And I love that. That's why I actually reposted that clip where you're talking about that, because we need that. We need,
Yeah.
people to learn how to make moves and do just even down to the basics, bro. Everybody could buy a house.
Yo, and
Like no es cosa de otro mundo. It's not from a different world type of thing. It's very easy if you
yeah,
want to.
yo, and
But this is where you come into place, Chris, where you can educate people on two ways to buy a home, right? One way is what I did, which was I bought a house and we live in it, and that's it. It's a single family home. The way that you pitch it, right, and how you've helped others is you buy a multi-family unit. Talk a little bit about that, because that's something that's a real big gem that you could give off to the people.
thank you for asking, man. Listen, so on my wealth journey, on my generational wealth journey, on my financial freedom journey, the way that this all started was, no lie, pure facts. I thought about if I can go back in time and I can teach my mother and my father something without them knowing how to read, without them doing anything. My father working 43 years in the factory, my mom working a little bit in the factory, saving a little bit of money. What would I teach them? And bro, it's very simple. Buy a multi-family home. Because the biggest bill in everybody's life is rent. Unless you got that
Mhm.
Rolls Royce you're gonna get, you feel me? But the biggest bill in everybody's life is rent. So once you buy a two-family or a three-family, it doesn't matter if you live in it or you live outside of it. You're cash flowing. So once you cash flow, that automatically you're making $3,000 if you have a three-family, four-family. So now your
That's
rent,
straight in your pocket,
yeah,
right?
bro,
You see?
in your pocket, like profit. So now that money's in your pocket, bro. Imagine you get $3,000 a month. You work your regular job, whatever you get, and with that money, you get to pay your rent, bro. You pay your rent. Now you live in rent free. You don't gotta stress that out. Now you live in a two-family home. Let's just say that you want to live in it. You take the first floor, you rent the basement, you rent the second floor, the backyard is yours. The second floor and the basement are paying all the rent. You and your wife don't even gotta work for nothing just to make sure that there's food in the fridge.
Mm.
So I was thinking about like, yo, how can I teach my parents this? How can I teach my parents this? So like this is like this is like recently that I started teaching like this. Because remember, I'm doing multi-family syndication deals with billionaires and millionaires, where I'm getting them 24% return on 1,000 units. And then
Mhm.
it was cool. I learned a lot. And then it's like, yo, like my thing has always been to help people, help my people. So
Yeah.
that's why I made a free course, link in my bio. It's called Paycheck to Cash Flow. Not everybody wants to be Anthony Madrid and Chris Lora and open up their own Madrid businesses and be a party promoter, marketing, rapper, manager. Nobody wants to do that, bro. A lot of people just really want to work their 9 to 5. So what I teach people is, yo, look, listen, you and your girl save $1,000 a month together, 500, 500, 700, 300, whatever it is.
Which is
That's
doable.
$12,000 at the end of the year. You just got to stay down. No brunches, no Jordans for your kids, no nonsense, no surface material shit. You do that, you save $12,000. Now income tax comes. One of y'all file and claim y'all kids. One of y'all gets $6,000 in taxes. The other one gets $3,000. You just made $9,000 in your taxes. You got $12,000. You already had $21,000 saved. With $21,000, you can go almost anywhere except New York and California and buy a multi-family home, own it. You don't even need to live in it. And that gives you money, cash flow, profit that you get to live off of. But are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to plan for 1 year of your life so that the next 30 years can be better? And that's what people don't know. That's the entitlement stuff. That's the, I want it right now. I want to eat right now. And people want the microwave. People don't want the Thanksgiving turkey that you got to season for 2 days, stuff it, and prep the meal. They want the right away food. So I teach people like, yo, look, listen, my immigrants, my 9-to-5ers, my minimum wages, we're going to do it. And I have proof of concept. I have testimonials. I have clients that, bro, they make only $3,000 a month and they've done it. So it's like, but they had to stay down and they had to put on their big boy pants or they, you know what I'm saying, or they cap and they had to do it. And it's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. So thank you for asking me that, bro, because this is information that we never got before. And this is information that could have saved my parents, my grandparents, your parents. So now that I'm out here spreading it to the world, I guess I'm not cool because I don't get a lot of likes. My friends don't comment. My friends don't comment on my stuff. So it's like whatever I'm doing, I know that is working because other people that are strangers are loving me because I'm changing their lives. While my other over here asking me, yo, how much does this house make you? Yo, bro, what does it matter how much this house makes me? It makes me $4,400 a month if you really want to know, but you can go do it yourself too. So one of my houses, just one of them, makes me $4,400, bro. One of my houses makes me $50,000 a year. That's more than
without
people
you having to do anything. God damn.
So it's like, yo, like, and then.
Yo, and it's real. It's the reason I say it's real because, you know, again, and this could be any hood. It doesn't just have to be where we're from, but like because of where I'm from, I never thought I could own a house. I bought my first house. And I'm like, we went in, got the keys, and I'm like, babe, they're probably gonna call us in like a day or two and be like, yo, they fucked up, and they're gonna take this shit back. Because I genuinely, I was like, yo, they gave me a house, they gave us a house. So then 3 years later, we're like, all right, we're good, they're not taking it. And then
what it is,
again,
man.
this is what I talk about, like my wife and putting the battery in the back, right? She got the idea. She wanted to move. She wanted something bigger. She was pitching to me. She's like, you can have your own office. You don't have to be, you know, in the man cave garage. Like, you know, it'll be in the house. Her dream was a 2-story house. So during Christmas, she hears the kids coming down the stairs, all that jazz. And I'm like, babe, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. Pessimistic. Yeah, I'm the most optimistic person when it comes to anything that doesn't relate to real estate. So that's what I'm saying. This is coming from a person that fears it and has done it.
You got the plug.
And then we got the plug right here telling you guys that he's done it multiple times. And it's not just him. Like I have a cousin saying, you know, everybody has somebody who owns a couple houses. You're like, yo, how does he has a couple houses? He's calladito, like very quiet.
I want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Just how we all know somebody that sold drugs or sells drugs. Just how we all know somebody that's gone to jail. Just how we know that somebody that's had a gun. We know people that have houses. Mm-hmm. We know people that are happily married in their relationships. Like it's just about perspective and how you look at things. And I'm with you, bro. Like when I first bought my house, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I gonna do? Because I never knew nobody that owned a home. Yeah. But then it's like you learn the way on the way, bro. You got those keys, you in the crib, that's it. You in it. You learn the way on the way. And your house has allowed you to like work on your house, work the woodworks, work on windows, practice on your house, make your house better. So now you out here in the neighborhood making money because you practice on your house.
Yeah. That's 100% true.
Yo, man, I want to ask you something before we get off, man. And I ask this to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're the cafeteria lady, the custodian, or my Uber driver. I ask everybody this every time. It could pertain to anything in life, finances, friendships, family, anything. What's the best advice that you can give anybody in the world? Because I want it.
Oof. It's really simple, and there's two. There's one that's fucked up, um, and the other one is very simple. Is don't listen to nobody, and I know that's very simple, but for you to do it takes practice.
Simple is profound.
Don't listen to no fucking body. Don't listen to nobody. Right? Don't even listen to me. Listen to yourself, bro. Because the thing is, when you listen to somebody, you do like, and the reason I say is because like my mom used to tell me, there was a time I wanted to move out. She's like, "Why are you gonna move out? Just buy yourself a car." Like, and I listened to her, and it just didn't pan out the way I wanted to. And the worst thing is in the world for you to do is to hold resentment towards somebody else because you chose to listen to their idea of the way you should have lived your life. So it's not so much their fault, it's your fault. And
Facts.
that's why you should always listen to your own intuition, your own gut. Fuck with yourself heavy. Be your biggest champion, right? Root for yourself. And I said this in one of my podcasts is like you're a one-man band. You know what I'm saying? Like you're playing basketball is you versus you. You gotta shoot the ball, run over to get the rebound. I don't know too much about sports, but the ultimate goal is for you to score, right? But just listen to you. That's everything I've done, right? Aside from like, having conversations with my wife, it's been what I wanted to do. Nobody had a pressure washing business, window clean, none of that shit. Nobody I know has a podcast. It's just it's an idea that was given to me from God, and I went with it, right? And Falasso was the one that told me about it. He said, "You ask good questions." I ran with it. So listen to you and the things that you want to do. And if ever it like win or lose, bro, like you did it. I did the pressure washing business and we moved to a new location. It didn't do so well. I learned other trades. My health wasn't up to par, and things like that. I went back to the workforce to work for a company. And I'm good. I roll with the punches. You got to learn how to bob and weave, but ultimately listen to yourself. Keep a good connection with God. And that's it.
Thank you, my brother. I love that. Love that. Love that. And I agree 100%, bro. And just like to just because that's great advice. And I want to add on to that. My mother has never gotten on a plane ever since she came to New York in 1994. My mother's afraid of heights. If I would have listened to my mother, I would have never seen the world.
Yep.
And that's Mama Love. You feel me? We listen to Mama Love, but like,
Yeah.
yo, I love that advice. You really gotta listen to that little voice, and you just gotta like walk in the faith and understand that God is putting everything in front of you for a reason.
Yeah, man. And don't be afraid to walk in the dark, man. You'll find the light.
That's it.
Is as real as it gets. But I'm a flip that on you right now. Like, what's one piece of advice that you would give anybody?
Yo, I got so many gems, but I'm gonna keep it simple. It's really simple. Anything that you want to do in life, anything that you want to be, it's really simple. That's it. It's simple. It's not as hard as you make it seem. We got YouTube University. We got Google University. We got TikTok University. We got a whole bunch of plugs out here. Whatever you want to do in life, it is really simple. You just got to lock in with that one thing that you want to do. Simple, bro. Simple. Keep it simple, silly, or stupid. Right? So just keep it simple.
We gotta be sensitive to the folks out there. It's a different climate out there. Keep it simple, motherfucker.
It's really simple. It's really
I
simple.
feel you.
You want to lose weight? It's simple. You want to buy a house? It's simple. You want to start a podcast? It's simple. You want to be in a great relationship? It's simple. You want a relationship with God and go to church? It's simple. You want whatever you want is simple. It's not that little voice in your head that's telling you no, 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 no. Eliminate that because it's really simple.
Hey, Chris, Rachel, I don't know if you see it on your side, but Rachel said, I spoke to Chris when I wanted to move to Florida, and that's exactly what he told me. It's simple.
Yo, just go for it. Like, yo, Rachel, man. Yeah, listen, Rachel, thank you for commenting. Thank you for bringing us together.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to make a clip for this before we get out of here. 2025. We graduated 2005. It is our 20-year anniversary. 20
Wow.
years that we graduated high school. I want to invite every single person that went to George Washington High School to this Yacht Social if you are seeking personal and professional development. If you just want to vibe with people that are doing great, if you want a different energy, if you're tired of those old friends that are holding you back or being that little voice in the head, and you want to meet new people and you want that new fresh breath of air, I want all my people from George Washington High School at this Yacht Social. And because I love y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a big discount. Just reach out to me. I got y'all.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, my brother. We did it. We did it. This was long overdue. I appreciate you. I love you, K. You already know. I appreciate you coming on, sharing some gems with the people. Please follow Chris everywhere, everything that he does. He has free material for you guys. Chris, let him know your handle and all that good stuff, please.
Yo, catch me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Hey,
Yeah, guys. So
Washington Heights, baby. Washington Heights.
we was on them dirt bikes, you heard? Um, listen, Chris works on everything. I have a free course, link in bio, 20 minutes, paycheck to cash flow. I also have my other Instagram page called Fund the Mental Works. And if you want to buy these tickets, go to hit the link in my bio. Everything is there. It's simple. Yo, and thank you for
Appreciate you.
everything. Thank you for putting me on, bro. Thank you for being the plug. Thank you for bringing other plugs on here. And thank you for being a God-fearing man that's walking in the fire.
Likewise, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Much
Love.
love.
To 25 more years of friendship, bro.
Yes, sir.